One thing I learned, you gotta trust your gut. Trust with people, with everything. So if you don't feel the color in your DNA.
Hello everyone, good evening. Who's with us? Who's with us today? Let's look.
Evening, Rav.
How's it? How are you, Shoni? How
Kanya.
you doing? Are you okay? Good. Nice to hear you with us. Who's else with us? Gabriel. Hello, Gabriel. Thank you for joining us. Who else? Let me see. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Marky.
Hello,
Rabbi.
Hello, Janet. Hello, Stevie.
How's it, Tanya?
How's it? Hello, Iva. How are you, Iva? Nice seeing you. Hello, Anthony. Who else with us? Baruch Hashem. Who else with us?
I don't know.
So, Rabotai, I'm going to just explain what we're going to speak tonight. I'm decided to make the show tonight to prepare us for Tisha B'Av, and what we're going to speak briefly about certain halachot, main halachot, 10 different halachot. Then I'm going to speak about the davening, what we have to do with the davening. I'm going to go through the kinot at night, the most important kinot. I'm going to bring 6. During the day, I'm going to bring 9 different kinot that it's better to say. And then the extra adding up in a tefillot. Then I'm going to go through the reading, the Torah reading that we do in Tisha B'Av, and then I'm going to go also through the Haftarot. And then I'm going to reach also to Motzei Tisha B'Av, that means the end of Tisha B'Av, what to do then. And then I'm going to speak about the 10 of B'Av, that there is certain laws that we also have to do. So everyone, good evening, whoever I didn't welcome. Asher yeh le'ilui nishmat Esther bat Moshe Levy, Esther Kadem bat Tisha,
You now. Put it in my box.
Moshe Mordechai ben Rahma, friend Moti, ולרפואת מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, ליאורה בת מרים, שמואל בן מיכל, ולירון בן שרית, וכל שאר חולי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. Okay, so good evening everyone. The law of Tisha B'Av. I'm going to give time to ask questions. Just be a bit patient because I might not going to speak very fast about it. So just be patient with me so I can give you time to ask. So first of all, let's start with the law of Tisha B'Av. Be'ezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach v'Hashem aleinu b'rachamav yargah. So 5 things are prohibition for us to do in Tisha B'Av. So one of them is eating and drinking. The second thing is that we're not allowed to do on Tisha B'Av, it's to have a shower. The third one is we're not allowed to anoint our body with oil. The fourth thing that we're not allowed on Tisha B'Av is to wearing a leather shoes. What it means to wear leather shoes? Many people make a mistake with that, and some people even come with the idea that you're not allowed to have even a leather belt. No, we're talking about shoes that made from leather. What it means leather? That the sole is leather. The sole of the shoes is leather, okay? This is the prohibition. The third thing that we're not allowed to have in Tisha B'Av is a physical relationship between the husband and wife. Then, I'm going to skip now to Seudah Mafseket. The Seudah Mafseket, what it means, Seudah Mafseket. Seudah Mafseket is the last meal that we have before the fast. So number 1, said the Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah, that 3 males not allowed to be together on a meal. Why? Because then there is a zimun, and you can't do a zimun and Seudah Mafseket before the fast of Tisha B'Av. The second thing that we have to eat one kind of food, only one food. For example, if a person eats rice, you must eat rice. A person want to eat lentil, will eat lentil, and etc. Want to eat egg, you must eat only egg. Corn mix. Then, obviously, after that, the fast is starting. Preferably, a person should brush his teeth to make sure that there is no left any food in his mouth, and it's considered like after the fast, eating in the fast if there is anything left. So it's preferably to brush the teeth. Then we daven minha. After minha, it's a custom to dim the light in shul, like you all know. But this year, I'm a doubter that we'll be in shul, so you should dim the light at home. And where is the source for it? Rabotai, focus with me, and then you'll understand why we also dimming the light. So the source to it come, obviously, from the Megillat Eicha. And Megillat Eicha, it says in chapter 3, verse 6, B'mehshachim hoshivani. That means he set me in darkness. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu set us in the darkness. And the Midrash Eicha Rabbah, in the Midrash, in chapter 1, verse 1, there they explain why are we sitting in the darkness. HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked the angel in heaven in a time of the destruction, and he said to him, a king, a human king, a human being, that he's a king, when he's sitting and mourning, what should he do? So the angel answered him like this, mechabe et hapanasim, that means dim the light, switch off the light. HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered the angel, if that's the case, I'm also going to switch the light. I'm going to dim the light in my place. And that's the main reason that we dim the light in a shul and in a home on, remember, on Tisha B'Av night. That means that when we sit and we read Megillat Eicha, the light should be dimmed to show that we're showing that we're mourning about the destruction of the temple. The most important thing with the davening that a person have to understand that we don't say Tahanun in Minha before Tisha B'Av, the Minha before we start Tisha B'Av, remember that? And we don't say Tahanun also during Tisha B'Av. The entire Tisha B'Av, we don't say Tahanun. And the main reason for it, the Mishnah Berurah bring there, I'm going to bring what the Mishnah Berurah say, Mishum Mu'ed. What it mean, Mu'ed? It's a Yom Tov. But there is another explanation that I saw, that, and I heard that, number one, how can you say a tahanun? Because in tahanun we do vidui. We're mentioning our sin. And you coming now, we're sitting and moaning about the destruction. We don't do that. The same like in a house of a person that is a velo alenu, a mona. We don't say in the house of the mona, tahanun. So in the same case, now that we're mourning for the destruction, we don't say tahanun at all. The minha before Tisha B'Av and during Tisha B'Av. Now, a person in she'elat shalom b'Tisha B'Av, that means a person not allowed to greet his friends and to say hello. We don't say hello on Tisha B'Av. If a person by mistake say to you hello, you just need his head, you need your head. Okay, sometimes it happens, someone come home and say hello, you just need your head to show a bit of a mourning. Okay, regarding studying Torah, and here many people make a mistake. We obligated to learn Torah, obligated. There is no such thing not to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av. The only difference is, and here become the difference, that the Torah that you have to learn on Tisha B'Av, and dvarim shemesamchim et halev, that means nothing that will make you happy, for example. So you'll ask, what should we learn on Tisha B'Av? Nachon, we obligate to learn. What should we learn is number one, the Mishnah Berurah bring that a person learn regarding the law of the destruction, all about the destruction, the law of Tisha B'Av, number two. Number three, to read in Sefer Yirmiyah, the book of Yirmiyah, the book of Jobs. And if you want to read the Gemara, if you're good, there's plenty places in Masechet Gittin and all different places in the Shas, if you know where to read regarding the destruction of the temple. So from here we see that on Tisha B'Av, a person not allowed, obviously, to learn Parshat HaShavua, because it's make him happy, not to read Tehillim, because it said, Divrei Hashem mesamchei lev. Therefore, what do you learn? You learn things that regarding the destruction, things that regarding what happened to our forefathers during the destruction, that you can find it easily in Yirmiyahu that he speak about the destruction. Obviously, Megillat Eicha, if you want to read it with a commentary, with explanation, there is also, that's no problem with that. Those what we have to learn on Tisha B'Av during the day. Now, regarding the morning. In the morning, a person should fast when he do the fasting until the end of the knuckles. The end of the knuckles. That's where we have to fast. The end of the knuckles. In the Birkot HaShahar, the blessing in the morning, a person should not mention She'asali Kol Tzorki. Why? Because that blessing being constitute for us to wear shoes, and we're not wearing shoes. Therefore, that blessing we shouldn't say. The minhag is to sit on the floor, okay, but a person should sit on a cushion on the floor. Okay, Hazal explain why. That starts from Tisha B'Av at night until midday. And in minha already, a person can sit on a normal chair and there's no problem with that. I'm going to stop now. If someone want to ask question before I'm going to go to the davening, the part of the davening on Tisha B'Av, please ask, unmute yourself and ask question. Any question, Rabotai? No, I will continue. Okay, the next thing is the davening. So as you all know, we start Tfilat Arvit. In Tfilat Arvit, straight after Arvit, we start to read Megillat Eicha. We read the Megillat Eicha, and after that, we say Kinot. The question is become, if I'm by myself, should I read Kinot or not? The Mishnah Brura, the Maran Shulchan Aruch Paskin and the Mishnah Brura, in Siman Taf Kuf Nun Tet, that means 559, verse 2, there is say Gama Yahid. Also the individual, a person that doesn't daven in minyan, obligated to read the Kinot, okay? And to read, obviously, Megillat Eicha. Okay, now we're going to go to the morning. In the morning, in Shachrit, a person, the minhag, and here there is two different minhagim. I'm going to bring the minhag, the custom here in South Africa. The minhag in South Africa that we don't put tefillin in the morning, okay, and we don't sit on a chair in the morning, okay. Only in minha we put tefillin, and obviously we sit on a chair. Ado minhag Yerushalayim, the minhag of Yerushalayim, that they put tefillin on the morning, okay. That's a different minhag, just to let you know. After Tfilat Shachrit, after everyone know that Tfilat Shachrit, what's happening at Tfilat Shachrit? We're finishing, we don't finish the complete, we leave because part of it we finish later on. That in Tfilat Shachrit, we finish Tfilat Shachrit and then we start saying Kinot. It's good also, Rabotai, it's good also to read again Megillat Eicha, to read again Eicha, and then to start Kinot after you read Megillat Eicha. In Minha, obviously, we put tefillin and the talif, like I mentioned, and that's up to midday. Up to that means until midday. Midday, it's around 12 o'clock. Now, I'm going to go back to Erev Tisha B'Av evening, and now I'm going to speak about the Kinot, because Stephen asked me which Kinot to say. If I'm not mistaken, also Mark asked me that question. So I would like to focus on those. So in Tisha B'Av night, okay, after we daven Mariv, we sit on the floor. And after we finish to read Megillat Eicha, it's good to say Kinot. And the name of the Kinot, Zechor Ma'aya Lanu. Kina number 1. We have 6 Kinot that we should say on Tisha B'Av night. The second Kina, Ech Mipi Ben Ubat. The third one is Belel Zeifkun. And that night they shall cry. The fourth one, Shomron Kol Titen Metzauni. And the fifth one is Adena Bachiyat Yon. Those are the fifth Kinot that we should say on Tisha B'Av night. In Shachrit, after we finish Shachrit, after we read Megillat Eicha, here we're speaking about different kinot. So which kinot to say in the morning? Eicha yeshva havatzelet hasharon. That's kina number 1. Kina number 2, esh tukad bekirbi, shomron kol titen, ve'et nevoi hatati, eli ve'oria, ציון הלא תשאלי לשלום אסירייך, שאלי שרופה באש, אלי ציון ואריה, ארזי הלבנון. Those are the 9 main kinot that you say in Shacharit. Any question before I continue? Rabotai, please don't be shy. If you have a question, unmute and ask the question.
Rav, after the shir, can you put all of them on the WhatsApp group? So you got it.
I can send it on Hebrew. I'm not good with the English.
No, Hebrew is fine, not a problem.
Okay. Everyone happy with that, guys? Yeah. Okay. Now, during the davening, we have to add up certain things, especially in Amidah. So in the Tfilat Amidah of Tisha B'Av, the minhag of the Sfaradim to say Nahem in Tfilat Arvit, Shacharit, Minha. That's how the Shulchan Aruch pasken. Ado, the minhag of the Ashkenazim, it's like the Rama, that they say Nahem only on Minha of Tisha B'Av. I repeat again. The minhag of the Sfaradim, for those of you, the Sfaradim, that we say Nahem, remember, in Arvit, Shacharit, in Minha. The 3 times. The minhag of the Ashkenazim, according to the Rama, that we say it only on Minha, on Tisha B'Av. We're adding up Nahem. Okay. The minhag of the Sfaradim to add up Anenu Beyom Tzon. Anenu Beyom Tzon. In all Tfilot HaAmidah, obviously, the minhag of the Ashkenazim to say it only, a person said Yehidi, only on Minha, on Tisha B'Av. That's the different adding up that we have. Now I'm going to speak about the Kriyat Torah on Yom Tisha B'Av. In Shacharit, we read in Sefer Dvarim, in Parashat Vayithanan, in chapter 4, verse 25, and it starts, Ki tolid banim ubnei banim. That's the Kriyah, remember, for Shacharit, for Tisha B'Av. The Haftara for it is in Sefer Yirmiyah, in chapter 8, verses, and it starts in verse 13 until chapter 9, verse 23. Minha, we read in Chumash Mot, in Parashat Ki Tisa, in chapter 32, verse 11, Vayachel Moshe. That's the Kriyah of Minha, to read in the Torah. Obviously, each one has to read it individually. And here comes the big difference between the Sfaradim and the Ashkenazim regarding the Haftarah. The Sfaradim read the Haftarah in Sefer Hosea in chapter 14, verse 2, until verse 10. I repeat, Sefer Hosea, chapter 14, verse 2 to verse 10. And the ending up of the Haftarah is in the book of Micha, funny enough, in chapter 7, verse 18, right to verse 20, B'mi el kamocha, that's where it starts. The minhag of the Ashkenazim, that the Haftarah that they read in Sefer Yeshaya, in chapter 55, verse 6 until verse 56, okay, Dirshu Hashem v'yimatzeo. In chapter 56, until from verse 6 until chapter 56, verse 8, Dirshu Hashem v'yimatzeo. That's the Haftarah at Minha. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to give time for you to ask questions. So please unmute yourself and ask questions if you have something regarding those davening. Don't be shy, guys. Please ask. I'm sure that you have something that if it's not sure, please ask me. Adam, are you okay? You need any help?
I'm just looking. I had some question I can't find. Oh, in terms of the Sudas Mafseket, the Rabbi said that just one food only.
One kind of a food. One kind of a food.
Is that for Ashkenazim and Sfaradim?
Yeah.
Okay.
That means if you decide to have eggs, Stephen, before the fast, or lentil, just egg or just lentil. You can't make lentil and rice, or some people, and I know that people love to eat lentil and eggs. No, only one kind of a meal.
It's not like a proper meal, chicken and vegetables. It's not type of thing.
No. That's you rather eat. That's you rather eat before. That's not. The Seudah Mafseket, it's the meal just before you start the fast. The proper meal you should eat before, obviously. The proper meal you should eat, let me just look. The fast starting at 5:37. If the fast starting at 5:37, okay? So for example, if you're gonna eat, let's say at 5 o'clock, let's say half an hour before, just to have something more, just have an egg or rice, okay? For example, I'm just giving an example. But at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, when you have your main meal, then you have you need to eat to keep you, because it's a 24 hours meal, 24 hours fast. Therefore, then you can eat a proper meal. You can eat few things together.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question regarding the reading, regarding the understanding? Guys, anyone need any other help? No. So let's continue.
Yeah, I got a question, Rob.
Sure, Mark. Sure. Sorry.
Reading Eicha.
Yes.
Do we read it only in Hebrew or in English, which we understand?
Oh, very good question. Shirkoh. Here is the key. If you read it in Hebrew, Mark, will you understand the language?
No, not if I read it only in Hebrew, no.
So rather read it in English, and if you can read it with a commentary, there's some Megillot Eicha with a commentary underneath, it's even going to be better.
Okay. Next question is Kinot always in its own book, or is it part of another book, or Chumash, or what?
Okay, so...
Because I don't think, for example, I have a Kinot book.
You don't.
So,
how many of you? Wait. Before I answer, let me ask a general question. How many of you have a Kinot book? Because if not, we need to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many of you have. Guys, how many of you have Kinot? Is anyone?
I do. I was Sosnovic head.
Okay, I was Sosnovic head. What about the rest? Brian, do you have?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. So we'd have to get hold of some books, or I don't know if the Hebrew bookshops are open.
Okay, so I'll tell you
Call
what
bookshop
we're gonna
maybe.
do. We most probably have to get hold of some Kinot. I hope that the shul will send it on a group. But if not, I'm going to try to make a plan. I'm going to try to make a plan if I can. I'm not promising, because I need to get into the shul to copy those Kinot for you, and somehow maybe to email it or send it via WhatsApp. But via WhatsApp, it's gonna be too.
Email is easier, I think, I believe. I think email
it's gonna be.
Email, yeah.
I think email's gonna be easy.
I think an email would be better. Yeah. Email is much better.
So I might gonna put a message to all of you. Mark, can I ask you a favor? Can you ask Janet, because Janet's very good, just to remind me regarding the keynote tomorrow, to send the link. Like, Adam sent me now a message while I'm talking to you. The link for the keynote, Adam sent me. I'm going to send it. Adam, please send it to me to my WhatsApp, and I'll send it to everyone, the link. Yishar koach, Adam. Thank you very much.
Can you send it to our email?
I'm going to send it. I'm going to send the link. I'm going to send the link to all of you. Number one, yeah, Adam sent it to me on WhatsApp. I send it to you via WhatsApp. But then I'm going to ask all of you, please send me individual message, and I'm going to send it to you on your email, via email, to link it. I'll send you the link. Is that okay?
Okay. Whatever
Adam,
works.
Yishar koach. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Any other question, Rabotai?
Okay, I've got one here quickly.
Yeah.
Why do we put tefillin on at mincha and not at shachrit? Why mincha and not shachrit?
Oh,
Anthony.
Anthony, Yishar koach. So why do we do that? Because number one, we have to understand why dafka, not shachrit. We said that in shachrit, and that's going to lead us also to understand another question. For the night of Tisha B'Av, there is a question among the poskim. Should we say Kriyat Shema ala mitah? That means, should we say the Kriyat Shema on a bed? So Hazal explained that you have to say Kriyat Shema on a bed. And why? Why is that? Ado that divrei Hashem mesamchei lev, that's the thing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu make you happy, and Kriyat Shema, it's part of the Torah, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Ado, so we saying it. So tefillin is a ot. What it means, a ot is a sign, and it make us happy. Ado, so we don't put it in shachrit. Why we don't put it in shachrit? Because shachrit is part of the heavy mourning that we're mourning. And if you look, Anthony, from midday, after midday, already the fast become lighter. What it mean lighter? It's not so intense. That means that after midday, we already in mincha, we can sit on a chair, okay, normal chair. We don't have to sit on the floor. So therefore, we have to do, what do we have to do? We have to put a tefillin. Why? Because tefillin is a sign to show that, number one, we have tefillin. Number two is the brit that we have every day. You follow, Anthony? I hope that I answered that question. Any other question, Rabotai?
Rav,
Sure.
So like working
Who
at Rabbi,
asking?
Rav,
These two people. These two people. Who's speaking?
It's me, Rav.
Oh, Sean. Yes, Sean.
Yes. So I just wanted to find out at what point in Shacharit in the davening do we stop, or what's left out that we continue in Mincha?
Okay. So what we do, we say Ashrei. We get to Ashrei. Okay. And Balitzion, you look there. They tell you which one you have to keep. We don't finish all of Balitzion. Okay. After that, Shir Shel Yom and Alenu, we don't say. Okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Yes, who else wanted to ask question?
I see you're me, Rabbi Steven here. Like the work in
Yes,
it, we said after midday one can start working the day. Is that how it works with Tisha B'Av? One should work
sorry,
Tisha B'Av.
say
They
again,
work with Tisha B'Av. After midday one can start going back to work. Like the restrictions in that. Like the meeting one, does that carry on to the 10th?
Okay. I didn't understand your question. Now I understand. So the Maran Shulchan Aruch writes in a Mishnah Brura. Listen to me what he said. כל העושה מלאכה בתשעה באב אינו רואה סימן ברכה. What does it mean? A person that do melacha in Tisha B'Av doesn't see any brocha from that melacha. Number one. Now, the Rama adding up and the other commentary adding up. במקום שנוהגים לעשות מלאכה עובדים. In a place that the custom is to work, we work. What does that mean? If you have to go to work, you work. If you don't have to go to work, rather don't. Why? Because there's no bracha from that work. But a person for example, have his own business. He can't leave the door shut off. A doctor, accountant, a pharmacist, you're going to close the door, they go somewhere else. No. So you have to work. What can we do? Because all the prohibition come, preferably not to work on Tisha B'Av, it's to focusing about the destruction. So why they say dafka in the morning, like you mentioned, Stephen? I explained to you, because the morning is the most hard part time of the morning about the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. So preferably in the morning not to work. But a person, everyone know, if he doesn't go to work, can you tell your boss, I'm not coming to work? These people that work on a job. And can you tell your employer, listen, I'm not coming to work today, it's my Tisha B'Av. He tell you, make me a favor, you and your Tisha B'Av, you can go home? No, you can't do that. If you have to go to work, you must go to work. Hazal didn't tell us that you shouldn't go to work. No, you can't lose your job. It's your parnasa, it's your livelihood. Haz v'shalom. But what they say, that if you can, b'makom, you have to read it properly, the halacha. I'm sure that you read it there, and that's where you got confused. B'makom shenoagim, in a place that the custom is to do, you go. But if you cannot work on that day, and you know that your boss, your employer are not going to be upset and not going to cause problem, then it's a different story. Again, the same, private business. Can you tell him to shut the door? As is, the economy is already down the drain, you know? You tell people now not to go. We have to be a bit realistic here. So what we rather do, so you come an hour later, half an hour later, you know what I'm saying? But while you, between one customer to another customer, try not to lose the thought and the idea of the Churban. The idea of the Churban. But again, you have to understand what the Shulchan Aruch say. Lo roeh siman bracha. It doesn't get any benefit. It doesn't get any bracha from that work that he done. So a person has to take that and weigh it properly and decide, listen, if I'm not going to go to work, my employer might gonna say arrivederci, and that no one want to do. Hazal didn't tell us that. But from the other way, if you have your own business and you can start a little bit later, so you show and you close a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? To show and to remember, the most important is to remember the destruction. That's all what we're mourning.
And the restriction to the 10th of Av, Rabbi Levy, what is that?
Okay, I'll get to it. I'll get to each one. I'll get to each one now. I'm just giving time for question. I'm going to go now also through the Motzei Tisha B'Av. 20 minutes after sunset, 20 minutes, again, listen, 20 minutes after sunset, we already allowed to eat and to drink. Now, the end of the fast gonna be at 6:05. I just look now in a calendar. The end of the fast is 6:05. After Mariv, after you daven normal Mariv, the custom is to do Birkat HaLevana. And it's good that a person should taste something, to eat something before he do Kiddush Levana. That means straight after Mariv, go taste something and then say Kiddush Levana. There is a good minhag, and this is a good minhag that you have to understand, that the person should wash their hand and their face and to wear proper shoes before they say Birkat HaLevana in Motzei Tisha B'Av. Okay? Now I'm going to move to 10 of B'Av. That's the following day. The minhag of the Sfaradim that we should not eat meat or drink wine, because on a 10th day, the Bet HaMikdash was still burning, okay? Until Shkiat Hama, okay? That's the minhag of the Sfaradim. Also, the minhag of the Sfaradim, okay, that they're allowed to have a haircut, to wear laundry clothes, okay? already on Motzei Tisha B'Av, not only on the 10. The minhag of the Ashkenazim, okay, they're more strict about it, okay, that when it's come to laundry clothes, to have a haircut and everything, they only allowed after midday, on the 10th of Be'av. The 10th of Av, they allowed all of that, okay? And regarding meat and wine, for midday they allowed. So they're more lenient regarding meat and wine on the 10th of Be'av from midday. Mm-hmm. Any other question? I hope that I answer everything. I hope that I try to cover, to summarize all the halachot that we need to know regarding Tisha B'Av. Any question, Rabotai? Please unmute yourself and you can ask question, because the next shiur we're going to do, I think that I'm going to do the next shiur most probably next Sunday, Be'ezrat Hashem. I'm going to speak about Megillat Eicha. I'm going to go in depth to understand what it means, Megillat Eicha. Like if you look, for example, for us, Eicha. Where is the first time that the word Eicha mentioned? So the destruction of the temple, Rabotai, the mystical rabbi explained to us that it's happened already on a sense of Adam HaRishon, the sin of Adam HaRishon. How do we know? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Adam HaRishon, Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka, it's the same spelling of Eicha. Where are you? That means that the destruction of the temple already was decided on a day that Adam HaRishon eat from the tree of knowledge. We'll explain that. Who wrote Megillat Eicha? It starts with Aleph. What does it mean? What is the word Eicha mean? We Be'ezrat Hashem explain all of that. We do the acronym of the word Eicha to understand Be'ezrat Hashem. All of that I try, please God, next Sunday. But in the meantime, any question, Rabota, if you have any other question regarding Tisha B'Av.
Hello, Rabbi. Hello, it's Rabbi. It's Ava. I just wanted to know, you were going to tell us about what the Ashkenazi minhag is on Motzei Tisha B'Av, and I lost the signal. Just as you were about.
So I'll repeat it. So on Motzei Tisha B'Av, the Ashkenazim are more strict. They're not having a haircut. They rather not have a shower, okay, and not to wear laundry clothes, okay, because they're more strict about it until midday of the 10th of B'Av, but they're more lenient when it's come to meat and wine, okay?
Thanks very
Adam,
much.
any other question? Please don't be shy to ask regarding laundry clothes. Regarding laundry clothes, we don't wear laundry clothes. Here it's different minhagim. There's one minhag that say that from Rosh Chodesh. Most of the people hold it only Shavua Shehalbo. What it means, Shavua Shehalbo, that if you look, it's going to be from the Sunday until Thursday, we're not allowed to wear clothes that been laundry. So what you do? So you know that every day you change your underwear, all the underwear clothes that you wear, for example, the vest, the socks, and etc. You wear it for a half an hour and you put it aside. That's considered like it's unlaundry. That means the vest, whatever. The same with shirt, the same with jacket, obviously, the pants, and etc. You wear it for half an hour, it's considered like unlaundry. Now, there is a question that people very debating about it. It's the Shabbat before Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, should we eat meat or not? Shulchan Aruch Pasken Ma'aleh al Shulchano Kishlomo Bizmano. What does it mean? That on Shabbat, we eat meat, we can drink wine, and there is no problem with that. Okay? That's the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av. Now, most regarding shower. So, 15 years ago, I have one of the rabbi from Israel came to daven in Maminian. We have, and I said the halacha that we allowed to have in South Africa a warm, not a cold shower, not freezing shower, but not also hot shower, warm, liquid warm shower during the days between Beshavua Shehalbo, that means from Sunday to Wednesday night, okay? Why? To show that we're showing the morning that we start for the destruction. So I remember that we have a bit of argument, me and him, and I brought him the source that, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Rav Kanievsky and a Rav Shach, if I'm not mistaken, all say that you can have, even in Israel, because in the Shulchan Aruch it said that you can go to the sea. A person that regularly go to the mikvah, what should he do during that? If he don't have a cold mikvah, he can go to a hot mikvah. What, you're going to change all the mikvah, all the system? Women that need to go to the mikvah, what, you're going to change now all the system to cool up the... No. So to show that we're mourning for the destruction, what do? We don't use a regular hot shower. We use less hot shower, that's all. Obviously, we here in winter, we're not in Eretz Israel that it's in a northern hemisphere that it's summer. So what do we use? We use a cold shower, but not a freezing cold, lukewarm, you know, that the body can take it. Okay, I hope that I answered with that. Adam, you wanted to ask a question, I saw.
Yeah, the one was just, you said, Motzei Tisha B'Av, before we say Kiddush Levana.
Yes.
Wash our hands and our, wash
our
hands.
And the face.
And put the leather shoes back on.
Nachon. But I say before that, just remember before that, you also should taste something, to eat something.
Yes. Right.
Remember that. Okay, and I'll tell you what's the reason for it. It's just that when you come to do Kiddush Levana, it's a happy thing. We're now celebrating the Levana. Okay, we have to understand that on that you give something to the body just to focus the body to be eaten something, to take this idea that we are not eating, also to wash the face, to take all of that feeling, horrible feeling that, you know, when the morning people do, it just helps you to say, Besimha, the Kiddush Levana. You follow, Eden? Okay, any other question? No. So, okay. You sure, guys? No, any special question? No. Rabotai, I would like you, please, to send me individually all your email address, and I'm going to send you the link that Adam sent me for the keynote. And I'm going to try to organize something. Maybe I'll speak to Adam. Maybe we can do something on Tisha B'Av night that he can, maybe he can read the Echa in a special tune and you all can link or something like that. I'll see if, Adam, you're smiling. I'll see if he's willing to do, because you have a beautiful voice. And I'm sure you have much better voice than mine. And
I don't think I've ever, thank you, but I've never done it before. So maybe I can try, but I don't know the trop very well. I suppose I...
Okay, yeah. You try and we'll see what we can do, because it's going to be very difficult for the guys to sit at home. Those that can't focus, it's very difficult, I understand. We'll try, I'm going to try to make something. I'll speak to Adam privately just now, but to help us all, and maybe we can do a link on Tisha B'Av, so at least we can hear the Megillat Eicha with a special tune. At least that we can achieve. if it's okay with you guys.
I think it's a good idea.
Sorry?
Yes.
It's a good idea.
Okay,
Good idea.
good. So as long that you're all happy, I'm going to try to put something together. I'll speak to Adam. We'll try to get his beautiful voice, to enjoy his beautiful voice. Okay, so we try to squeeze Adam a bit.
We might have to teach him laning quickly.
Okay, Rabotai, I hope that I answer everything. I want to thank number one again to Liron, refuah shlema to him. As you all know, Liron is at home. I spoke to him, Juanita spoke to him on Friday. Baruch Hashem, the progress is coming. Thanks God, HaKadosh Baruch Hu really helped. I just would like to thank again Adam for sending us the link for the keynote. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit, all of us, all Bet Israel, to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day, and then we don't have to fast, we don't have to mourn for Tisha B'Av. Instead, as Hazal said, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will turn the months of Tammuz and the months of Av, it's going to be Yamim Tovim to the Jewish people. Hazal tell us, Atidim liyot chodashim, Tammuz ve'Av le'yamim tovim. That means 2 months of festival, Yom Tov. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days. And then we don't have to fast. And then we listen to Adam with a beautiful voice, not with kinot. Amen, ken yehi ratzon.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Thank you, Rob.
And be in touch, please God, on Thursday night. If there is no power failure, we'll do Parashat HaShavua. And if you have any question, please send me private question and I'll try to answer. And in the meantime, I wish you all keep safe, look after yourself, keep warm, and keep well. Have a good evening and all the best.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.